Today, we're diving into the mysteries of Venus, Earth's so-called twin. Now, I say so-called because while Venus and Earth share some similarities in size and mass, that's kind of where the resemblance ends. Venus is a scorching inferno, a planet of extremes, and a stark reminder that the universe is full of surprises. Join me as we explore 10 fascinating facts about this planet that could melt lead, where a day is longer than a year, and where the atmosphere is so thick and toxic, it would make even the toughest extremophile think twice. We're talking crushing pressure, sulfuric acid rain, and enough volcanoes to make Dante nervous. So buckle up, space fans, as we journey to our nearest planetary neighbor, a world that's as beautiful as it is brutal. Let's unlock the secrets of Venus, the twisted sister of Earth. Chapter 1. Okay, so Venus is often called Earth's twin, and sure, at first glance, there are some similarities. I mean, Venus is just a tad smaller than Earth, about 95% of Earth's diameter. And when it comes to mass, Venus tips the cosmic scales at about 81.5% of Earth's bulk. So yeah, in terms of size and weight, Venus and Earth could be gym buddies. But that's where the similarities end, my friends. It's like comparing a tropical rainforest to, well, the surface of Venus. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Think of it this way. Imagine Earth as a lean, mean, life-supporting machine, while Venus is its jacked-up, volcanic, insanely hot cousin who skipped leg day. They might share some DNA, but their personalities, totally different stories. Chapter 2. Here's a fun fact that's not so fun if you're planning a Venusian vacation. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. And no, it's not just because it's the second planet from the Sun. Mercury, the closest planet to our star, can't hold a candle to Venus's inferno-like surface temperatures. We're talking a scorching 475 degrees Celsius, folks. That's over 900 degrees Fahrenheit. To put that in perspective, that's hot enough to melt lead. So what's cooking on Venus? Well, it's a runaway greenhouse effect gone wild. That thick atmosphere, made mostly of carbon dioxide, traps heat like a cosmic microwave. The result? A planet that's hotter than a pizza oven on high. Trust me, you wouldn't last 5 seconds on Venus without some serious heat protection. Chapter 3. Get ready for this. On Venus, a day is actually longer than a year. You heard that right. See, Venus rotates in the opposite direction of most planets, a phenomenon we call retrograde rotation. That means on Venus, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Talk about messing with your internal clock. And if that wasn't strange enough, Venus rotates incredibly slowly, like snail-pace slow. It takes a whopping 243 Earth days for Venus to complete one rotation. But here's the kicker. Venus zips around the sun much faster than it spins, completing an orbit in just 225 Earth days. So, a year on Venus is shorter than a day on Venus. It's enough to make your head spin, right? But hey, that's Venus for you, always keeping things interesting. Chapter 4. Breathe deeply. Not Venus's toxic atmosphere. Let's talk about Venus's atmosphere, or as I like to call it, the don't even think about taking a breath zone. Imagine this. You're standing on the surface of Venus, hypothetically of course, because you'd be instantly incinerated. You take a deep breath and immediately regret it. That's because Venus's atmosphere is 96.5% carbon dioxide, a gas that's not exactly known for its life-supporting properties. But wait, there's more! The clouds on Venus, those aren't fluffy water vapor clouds. Oh no, those are clouds of sulfuric acid. You know, the stuff that can burn through metal? Yeah, not exactly the kind of atmosphere you want to be caught in without a hazmat suit. Chapter 5. Feeling the pressure, Venus will crush you. So, we've established that Venus is hot, toxic, and has a backward day-night cycle. But hold on, because it gets even more intense. Let's talk about atmospheric pressure. On Earth, we barely notice the weight of the atmosphere pressing down on us. But on Venus, it's a whole different story. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is about 92 times greater than Earth's. That's like being 900 meters, or almost 3,000 feet, underwater. Imagine the pressure at that depth. It's enough to crush most submarines, let alone a fragile human being. So yeah, if the heat and the toxic air don't get you on Venus, the pressure definitely will. Chapter 6. Volcanoes galore. Venus's fiery landscape. Venus is home to a truly epic landscape, one shaped by fire and fury. We're talking volcanoes, people, and lots of them. In fact, Venus has more volcanoes than any other planet in our solar system. We're talking thousands upon thousands of volcanic structures, from small shield volcanoes to massive coronae, these huge crown-shaped features that can stretch for hundreds of kilometers. And it's not just ancient history, folks. Scientists believe that many of Venus's volcanoes are still active today, spewing lava and gases into the atmosphere. So, if you ever find yourself on Venus, again, hypothetically, just remember, watch your step. You never know when you might stumble upon a molten lava flow. Chapter 7. No moons, no rings, no problem, Venus travels solo. Now you might be thinking, okay, Venus is hot, toxic, has crushing pressure, and more volcanoes than a sci-fi movie. Surely it has some redeeming qualities, right? Well, here's one. Venus is a minimalist when it comes to celestial accessories. Unlike most other planets in our solar system, Venus has no moons. That's right, no celestial dance partners, no rings of ice and rock, just Venus doing its own thing, orbiting the sun in splendid isolation. Some might say it's a bit lonely, but I think it adds to Venus's mystique. It's a lone wolf, a rebel, a planet that marches to the beat of its own drum, or rather the rhythm of its own incredibly slow rotation. Despite its hellish conditions, Venus has captivated humans for centuries, and for good reason. It's incredibly bright in our night sky. In fact, after the sun and the moon, Venus is the third brightest object visible from Earth. You've probably seen it yourself, shining like a celestial beacon just after sunset or before sunrise. That's why Venus is often called the evening star or the morning star, even though it's not a star at all, but a planet. Its thick atmosphere reflects sunlight incredibly well, making it appear as a dazzling point of light against the velvet backdrop of space. Here's a fun fact that's, well, less fun and more terrifyingly impressive. While the surface of Venus is relatively calm wind-wise, the upper atmosphere is a different story. We're talking winds that whip around the planet at speeds of up to 360 kilometers per hour, or about 224 miles per hour. That's faster than some hurricanes here on Earth. These super-fast winds are part of what's known as the Venusian superrotation, where the atmosphere circles the planet much faster than the planet itself rotates. It's a phenomenon that scientists are still trying to fully understand, but one thing's for sure. You wouldn't want to get caught in a Venusian windstorm. Venus has been a tempting target for space exploration since the dawn of the space age. But reaching this scorching pressure cooker of a planet is no easy feat. Many early missions to Venus, both from the Soviet Union and the United States, met with, shall we say, unforeseen technical difficulties. The intense heat, pressure, and that pesky sulfuric acid rain played havoc with spacecraft, often leading to premature malfunctions. However, despite the challenges, humanity persevered. In the 1970s and 80s, the Soviet Union's Venera program achieved a remarkable feat-landing spacecraft on the surface of Venus. These hardy probes managed to withstand the brutal conditions long enough to send back the first images from the Venusian surface, revealing a rocky, desolate, and utterly alien landscape. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about Venus, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating space facts. See you next time.